But the thing that I do remember all the time, I think about them practically every day, is for a person like myself who live in the spotlight and is so critical, from people all the time in terms of what I do, what I say, where I go. The thing he's always said, take a pause before you make a decision and say, what if? And the purpose for saying what if is that whatever decision you make, always either going to have consequences, either pros and cons.
Welcome to Flash Wisdom, where we bring you transformative insights from the world's most influential figures. Today, we're honored to present a rare, unfiltered conversation with Michael Jordan, not just a legendary athlete and 6-time NBA champion, but also a visionary entrepreneur, mentor, and thought leader. In this candid interview, he reflects on the formative experiences that shaped his worldview, the values that guided him from the court to the boardroom, and the personal philosophies that continue to drive his success. Stay tuned to Flash Wisdom for a profound look into the mind of one of the greatest athletes of all time. Before Michael Jordan became a global icon, his world was shaped by simple influences: family, college sports, and the roar of race cars. Let's listen as he describes how limited TV access and his father's interests sparked a lifelong passion for competition and excellence.
I was closer to watching my father do most of the stuff. So, I wasn't really into professional sports because where I grew up, you only had like 2 television stations, NBC and ABC. And we couldn't even get NBA games. So most of my focus stayed on the college game. So I was a big college basketball player. I watched college and then baseball. Obviously, my father was a big baseball fan. He loved Roberto Clemente. So he was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I kind of grew up emulating or following his footsteps in terms of who he admired as who I watched. I grew up also a NASCAR fan. So I was a Richard Petty fan. We used to go, my father used to take the whole family, pack us all in, this Chrysler Plymouth, and we would drive all over North Carolina, South Carolina, and go watch stock car racing. So I was more into stock car racing than I was into anything else.
From these early, down-to-earth beginnings emerged the character and work ethic that would define Michael's life. Next, we'll explore how he views success, setbacks, and the meaning of true achievement. When facing questions about regret and disappointment, Michael doesn't dwell on what could have been. Instead, he sees every failure, every hurdle, as fuel for growth. Let's hear how he embraces the lessons hidden within every challenge.
I really don't have regrets. I am a person that says, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else has to change. So.
What about your biggest disappointment?
Once again, that's the same analogy. Disappointment to me, to win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am, and not to wear it on my sleeve, be very humble about it. That's one thing my parents taught me very well is, don't wear your reputation, don't wear your accolades, don't wear your personality on your sleeve. Let it happen, let it be you. It is who you are. Don't hide from it, but don't wear it and rub it in people's face.
This perspective on embracing setbacks to find strength also shapes Michael's views on the sports world today, especially for young athletes making life-changing decisions. Let's delve into how he believes education and guidance should play a role in their paths forward. As athletes enter the professional arena younger than ever, Michael stresses the importance of balancing financial opportunities with education and mentorship. His insight urges us to consider how young talents can grow responsibly, both on and off the court.
Well, I've been on both sides, obviously. I left school at the age of 20, 21, my junior season. It wasn't a financial decision. It was more or less a business decision, an opportunity for me to play professional basketball. I was, so close to graduation, so education still was a part of everything that I do or did at the time. My feelings about, a kid being able to go to the pros, and I've seen both sides, is that you should allow a kid, if he feels like from a financial standpoint, that he wants to go and work and earn a living. I think there's a certain way that you can go about between the NCAA as well as the NBA and all parties involved, that you can systematically build a way to where that kid now at the age of 18 or 19, if they want to go and play professional sports, they should be allowed to.
Nurturing young talent is only one piece of the puzzle. Michael's own journey led him from player to owner, where he confronts new challenges, like building a winning culture and connecting with the community in a smaller market. Let's see how that vision takes shape. As the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, Michael faces the task of strengthening the team's bond with its city and cultivating a competitive edge. This next excerpt reveals his forward-thinking approach to uniting talent, community, and culture.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of work, which I'm not afraid of. It takes a lot of, forwardly thinking, seeing good talent, nurturing new talent, developing new talent. One of the biggest issues we do have is we're not a Chicago, we're not a LA. So you have to create a culture, a winning culture, and you got to be able to connect that basketball team to the support system within that community. One of the biggest reasons why I bought the team initially, I felt the team was under preserved, under operated because they were not connected to the community.
From champion on the court to leader in the boardroom, Michael continues to evolve. Just as he nurtures players in Charlotte, he also shapes a global narrative through the Jordan brand, an enterprise rooted in his legacy and personality. The Jordan brand stands as a testament to Michael's DNA, his values, aesthetics, and global appeal. Listen in as he explains why this brand, beyond any other venture, best represents who he is and how he wishes to engage with the world.
Do you spend a lot of time
I spend a
in the
lot.
shoe business?
I spend most of if you look at all my portfolio of things that I'm involved in, my strongest passion outside of the ownership of the Hornets is the Jordan brand. Because to me, I can impact that in a much greater sense. To be able to continually talk to that consumer, interact with that consumer. It's not a draft. It's not, it's not where I'm, dependent on how the season ends to determine if I have a draft pick in the first 12 or 13 picks. So if I had to pick of all the things that I'm involved in, the most important is the Jordan brand because it is my DNA. It is who I am. The Hornets is a product of the personnel that I assemble. And if it doesn't have that DNA, you may not get the same results.
His brand and team may carry his name and influence, but at the heart of it all are personal values. Team may carry his name and influence, but at the heart of it all are personal values shaped by family, humility, and careful decision-making. Let's see how these core principles continue to guide Michael's journey. Michael draws strength and perspective from his parents' teachings, especially his father's advice to pause, consider the what-ifs, and understand that every choice has consequences. As we listen, we'll discover how these lessons keep him grounded, even under intense scrutiny.
If your dad were alive, he'd be so proud of you.
What would my father do right now? First of all, he'd probably be sitting and smoking a cigar and answering some of the questions that he's a very thoughtful guy. The thing that I remember the most about my father, and I had him for 32 years. and I never look at it from a negative sense. Obviously, he was murdered, and rarely do I get the chance to talk about him, but the thing that I do remember all the time, I think about him practically every day, is for a person like myself who live in the spotlight and is so critical, from people all the time in terms of what I do, what I say, where I go. The thing he's always said, take a pause before you make a decision and say, what if? And the purpose for saying what if is that whatever decision you make, always either going to have consequences, either pros and cons.
From these personal reflections, it's clear that Michael's legacy isn't just in championships or brands. It's in the wisdom he imparts, the humility he preserves, and the standards he sets for himself and others. In this rare and candid exchange, Michael Jordan reminds us that greatness isn't solely measured in trophies or profits. It's about evolving through adversity, staying humble amid fame, and honoring the values that define who we are. His story shows that resilience, thoughtful decision-making, and authenticity form the core of lasting success. Here at Flash Wisdom, we strive to bring you conversations that challenge your perspective and fuel your personal growth. If these insights resonated with you, let us know. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Flash Wisdom for more inspiring discussions and life lessons. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to Flash Wisdom as we continue exploring the minds and journeys of extraordinary individuals.